FreeMMOStation.com.
Hello, this is Dalen75 Games. This is a first look, Order of Magic. Now I quote, "Hardcore PvP gameplay and Western-style fantasy setting are the basic values to define Russian online gamers' product preferences," says Nikita Online's Pavel Elchenko. Nikita Online is the publisher, the indie developer is Razorgra. They are using a web-based gaming system called Cloud Gaming from Kalido. From the Kalido website, headquartered in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, Kalido was founded in 2006 with a strong, innovative vision and a team of the smartest developers in the world. We have been the true pioneers of effortless cloud gaming. So what is Order of Magic about? Order of Magic is a fantasy PvP MMO. It's free to play, of course. There are 7 battle arenas on 3 large islands. Order of Magic is already out. I'm not sure when it was released because of nearly all the info on it being in Russian. It's released on GameXP Connect platform. Apparently there are already 11 million unique users. I quote from Maxim Shianovov, CEO of Razorgra. "It's vital for a PvP-centered title such as the Order of Magic that the game is played by as many users as possible." The game has an English UI, or user interface, but all the players are, from what I have seen, Russian. Though, through looking through things online, there is a Portuguese aspect to it. I think some players are Portuguese, which of course would also include Brazil. I even had someone in the game asking me in poor English if I was Brazilian. When I said, "No, I'm Canadian," I got a bit of a laugh in return. I believe it is possible to pay for the game currency to buy upgrades for your characters, be it gear or what have you. I never really got to find out though. Now, my opinion, start with the negatives. I have to say it was a real pain just getting to play this game. 90% of the time, I'd get stuck on a loading Order of Magic screen. I'm not super tech savvy, but I couldn't get it to run if I were uploading or downloading anything, no matter how small. Then once the upload or download was complete, even hours later, I still get stuck on the loading Order of Magic screen. This with Firefox and Google Chrome with clear catches. The only way I could get the game working was to restart the computer, but even then, when I had a tiny update to Adobe Flash, I couldn't start the game afterwards at all. Without having any bandwidth usage in the background, I'd still get very high latency. 400 plus, even up to 700 was the norm. I would get randomly booted from the game after playing for only a few minutes. The game is meant for Russian players. Everyone's name is in Cyrillic, and I couldn't for the life of me pronounce a single one of them. The user interface is usually well translated into English, but occasionally you'll run into bad grammar, especially when it comes to directing your character towards other quests, or when you read the NPC chat. All the player chat is in Russian, so good luck if you don't speak or read or write Russian. Considering the current state of shaky politics between Russia and the West, I wouldn't recommend getting into the game if you cannot blend in. Several times I was picked out and laughed at because my name, Dalen, obviously sticks out from everyone else's. Being called a loser in English or getting laughed at just in the newbie area isn't very enticing. Graphically, the game is a mixed bag. More poor than good. The overall graphics are acceptable considering it is a free-to-play game, but you will still see somewhat pretty graphics in the distance, while at other times see very low pixelated objects throughout the game world. The sound quality was basic. Again, for a free-to-play game it was alright. I neither disliked nor particularly liked it. The music was appropriate, though nothing special. Unfortunately, the game seems to have a hidden timer on when you can make your moves in combat, so when you would like to dodge, it would have you wait till the mob you are fighting with takes its turn. It feels very clunky and like the player has little control over your own actions. I particularly didn't like this part of the game. I also didn't get the chance to get into any PvP matches, which is basically what the game is centered around. Though I tried and waited a good while, but nothing ever came of it. Did it have to do with my poor latency that the game was designed to not allow you into a match? Or was it normal to wait an hour and not get in? I couldn't tell you. You have the choice of 3 classes at the beginning: Mage, Ranger, and Paladin. I chose the Paladin and tried to go through the initial combat training ground as a Mage at the end, but somehow either I skipped it by accident or the game detected that I'd already done it on my Paladin and automatically transferred me to the newbie zone. Overall, this is very limited for classes and I was not very impressed. Unfortunately, your choice in faces is limited to 6 per sex, and I found half of them to be atrociously bad looking. Down to the positives. It's a free-to-play game that apparently boasts a large player base. If you are Russian, or possibly speak Portuguese, then this might be the free-to-play PvP MMO for you. Color choice when creating your character offers much more variety than I think I've ever seen in an MMO. Basically, you have the full color palette available to you in a circle in which you point and click and move it around to get your choice. This goes for eyes, hair, and clothing. The game is a web browser-based game that, when it runs, it doesn't seem to take up much resources on your computer, and I think this is where cloud-built games from Kaleido comes into play. Bottom line. My opinion is if you really are interested in playing a free MMO, then there is just about a dozen or more Western MMOs, or even Asian ones, that provide a better experience than this game will give you. My final thoughts are, don't bother with this game, even if you are Russian or Portuguese, it's just not worth even looking into. I think it's a poor Western imitation in just about every way. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.